When we talk about the transatlantic slave trade, many people think about the ships that carried Africans across the Atlantic. But have you ever wondered where these people came from before they got to those ships? The story started far. Now listen, let me take you guys back to the story. People were captured through wars, raids, kidnapping, and other forms of enslavement. Many of them were then forced to travel long distances towards the coast. Some eventually arrived at the important coastal centers in what is today Nigeria and Benin Republic. One of those places was Badagry, Lagos. Now, let's go to Badagry. Badagry became an important center of the slave trade. Captives were brought there, traded, and later taken towards the coast. One of the most famous routes is Berefu, popularly known as the point of no return. Imagine being forced to walk through this route, knowing fully well you are leaving your home, your dreams, everything, and you might never even see your family again. But Badagry was not the only place. In southwestern Nigeria, places like Calabar and Bonny also became important centers connected to the Atlantic slave trade. And across the border in present-day Benin Republic, there was another major center, Ouidah. Ouidah became one of the major slave trading and embarkation centers along the bight of Benin. Today you can still follow the historic slave route which leads to the Atlantic coast and the famous door of no return. From these coastal centers, enslaved Africans were taken onto ships and transported across the Atlantic to places including Brazil, the Caribbean, and in North America. But there's something important to understand. Badagry and Ouidah was not necessarily where all these people were originally captured. They were part of a much larger network that connected island communities to coastal markets and eventually to the Atlantic. And that's what made this history so painful. These weren't just numbers, they were fathers, mothers, children, brothers, and sisters. People with homes, families, cultures, and lives. Today, places like Badagry and Ouidah remind us of this painful part of history. And when you stand there, you are not just looking at an old tourist site. You are standing in a place where part of history actually happened. This is StreetGossipTv, the new voice of the streets. Follow us for more historical stories, real-life events, and documentaries.